So today, I kind of want to dive deeper into, you know, why it seems like the Bills are now dominating. We saw week one, they kind of struggled in the first half, but the Cardinals ended up coming on top. A lot of people were like, oh, they almost lost the Cardinals, yada yada yada. Cardinals go up and put up 40 against the Rams, who almost beat the Lions in week one. So, gain more credit for the Cardinals. Then they go out on Thursday night and they mollywop the Dolphins with Tua. I know he got hurt, but they had Tua and they wreaked havoc. Their offense looked great. Josh Allen didn't have to do anything, and they still won by 30. All right. Now, last night against the Jaguars, all right, the Bills looked unstoppable. All right. They kept up the same pace that they had with at the end of the Cardinals game, into the Dolphins game on the road, now at home again against the Jaguars, who are 0-2, but still, Trevor Lawrence, you got some playmakers on defense, and Joshua Hines-Allen. All right. This is not a bad team. They're just not performing as well, the Jaguars. And what you see is some brilliance, all right, in the play calling, in the play designs, in the execution. Josh Allen has been playing perfectly. He has one turnover, and it was either the first or second drive of the Cardinals game where he fumbled in the backfield and lost the ball. He has not had to force anything. He has not had to target one receiver over another. It's just been so smooth, so fresh. It flows well, and this team, if they play like this, they're beating anybody in the league every single night. All right, if they play like this, 9 times out of 10 they beat the Chiefs on the road. If Josh Allen plays the way he does, if the defense plays the way they've been playing, if the play calling is still excellent from Sean McDermott, their defensive coordinator Bobby Babich, and their offensive coordinator Joe Brady, if everything is firing on all cylinders, this is the best team in the NFL. All right, and you can see that with the offensive play calling on their very first play. All right, what you're going to see here is Josh Allen sends James Cook into some pre-snap motion. He just comes right back, just to identify this is the man. All right, this is who is guarding James Cook on this play. All right, you notice 5 down linemen. This is going to be a quick play. The ball is coming out fast, and what you see is Keon Coleman's just going to run a little hitch. All right, Dalton Kincaid's just going to kind of just like a deep crosser, a little bit deeper than this, but and then the play really starts to happen with this. All right, Dawson Knox is going to come right here and plant his feet and box out this guy right here, his man. Because the key is to limit the amount of defenders on this side of the field. We don't want anybody leaking over here to make a play. All right? Because what the play is going to be Mac Hollins running right here, taking both his man and James Cook's man out of the play, so James Cook can just leak through right here and get up the field for 20 yards on the very first play. All right? This is an incredible play design because it felt like the Bills already had a pamphlet with plays that Jaguars were going to run. It seemed like they knew exactly what kind of formation they were going to come out in, what exactly was going to happen on the very first play, and it looked like the Bills already knew. All right, you see Deion Dawkins drops into about a three-step drop, right here. James Cook is already looking at Josh Allen. Josh Allen hits him about 6 yards away. All right, so what you see here is a 3rd and 11 play from the Bills. They are up 13-3 at this point, and there's about 7 minutes left in the second quarter. And what you see is a really just not well-designed play with the personnel they have on the field. They've got Dalton Kincaid here running a drag. They've got Mac Hollins here trying to run a go, but he gets kind of pushed off his line, and this ends up turning into more of just this kind of really crappy route. All right. Marquez Valdes-Scantling's hitting a fade here to the back of the end zone. Ty Johnson's just coming here and going out. And then Curtis Samuel, he's running this little, jet sweep motion almost, right in behind the offensive line, and then he's going to come here and curl. He's going to sit here about 5 yards away from the line of scrimmage. Not enough to get the first down. But what really makes this play important, and why I'm including it in this video, is because we see Josh Allen be Josh Allen, all right? Immediately, he checks, he looks, doesn't see anything, takes off. All right? And that's something that we see a lot out of Josh Allen, but the way he does it is, in this play especially, is almost instinctually. You can see his head looks up at his receivers for a split second, and then he decides, go. Just run. And
It doesn't even seem like he's checking around him, and he takes this right up the gut, right off of the left guard's hip, and he takes it for a first down. And the best thing about it is, once he gets the first down, he slides. That is a really important play because it's very out of character for Josh Allen. Josh Allen, throughout his career, has tried to be Superman and tried to turn a first down run into a touchdown, and hurdle a guy, stiff arm somebody into the ground, all of these things that in this moment, in this game, you don't need right now. You don't need him to go play hero ball and get you an extra 7 yards. We're up. We're in the second quarter. We have the ball. We're in field goal range if we don't get a first down. But he still goes and makes this play. And that's the difference between a guy like Josh Allen and, what we saw last Thursday when the Bills actually played the Dolphins. And you see Tua right near the goal line on fourth down, makes the contact, gets hurt. Very unfortunate play. But also, he was trying to put his team first by getting that extra yardage, maybe somehow pushing for a touchdown by going out of character and doing these things to do so, and he gets himself hurt. And in that becomes a selfish play because he had the first down, whether or not he knew about it, right? He had the first down. You just need to slide in that situation. You need to put your team first by putting yourself first by not getting injured. And that's exactly what Josh Allen has been doing to start this season, minus the hurdle where he actually injures his hand into the end zone against the Cardinals. He's putting himself first, which is putting the team first, because this team cannot win without Josh Allen. They cannot win with a guy like Mitchell Trubisky or Kyle Allen, who's been here in the past. They cannot win with a guy like that. Buffalo needs Josh Allen, and by putting himself first, he's putting this team first. And that's really something that is a huge sigh of relief for fans and the coaching staff and the front office, all of the above. This is really out of character and really great to see from a guy like Josh Allen. All right, what you can kind of see here on the screen is a list of pre-snap motion percentages per play. The biggest glaring thing to me, really, is this Dolphins. The Dolphins are leading this category by 24% over every other team. But last year, this is a chart from 2023-2024. Last year, we saw a very different kind of offense come out of Miami with, the speedsters like Waddle and Hill and Mostert and A-Chain, who was a rookie. And then, the kind of just unconventional way that team performed, or not performed, but played. You saw a lot of pre-snap movement and stuff like that, just to get their open guys the running head start. But 2 through 32, you really kind of see, how much each team really relies on this, and it's very glaring to see the Rams and the Niners, because McVay and Shanahan kind of revitalized this it's called the Shanahan offense, right? But they kind of revitalized the way offense is played to combat the Legion of Boom's cover 3, how they perfected it, and, getting Richard Sherman out into space and taking away Cam Chancellor as their enforcer from making plays like that, and Earl Thomas keeping him out of coverage. Just random stuff like that a lot of offenses nowadays have started to adapt and play the same way, right? So what you see here is the Bills actually from last year at 27, at 13.4%. And if you go back and you watch the Week 1 game, you saw a lot more motion than 13%. You saw even more motion if you go back and watch the Dolphins game. And then you see even more motion than that if you go and watch the Jaguars game again. The Bills are moving a ton pre-snap. All right, they are moving all the time, and this whole thing is just to give the quarterback information. Another thing I want to touch on is this very, very subtle motion by the Bills that we see a lot between Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox is just shifting them to the other side of the offensive line. All right, you send this linebacker this tight end back over to the left side instead of the right side, and now you've kind of gained some information about what the defense is running. You see nobody is following him, so you automatically rule out man coverage, and then you see these two linebackers and then this defensive back shift over, all right, to cover the gap. So what you're going to see is this is a one-on-one right here. All right, he's staying on him. 26, 28, he's on Dawson Knox, who's just going to kind of go out to this corner. But the real key to this motion is creating this about 3 yards, 2 yards of separation between the linebacker and the defensive back, which gives Ty Johnson the open corner route in the back of the end zone, or the front pylon of the end zone, right? And this motion is what ultimately sends Josh Allen this knowledge of this is going to be open. Like, he's able to tell pre-snap, this is what's going to be open. I need to look for this, And this isn't, this play, this isn't an ordinary, average Joe throw. Like, I would hope that almost every NFL quarterback in a clean pocket can make that throw, score a touchdown. But the thing is, the Bills' offensive line misses a block here. You see automatically the stunt by the Jags is a really good stunt. This is David Edwards right here, their left guard, and then Deion Dawkins is up on Josh Allen, the Jaguars' Joshua Hines Allen, sorry. And David Edwards kind of leaves number 55 unblocked because he picks up the double team on Josh Allen with Deion Dawkins. All right, that leaves an unblocked man, an unblocked rusher rushing your quarterback. And Josh Allen takes almost a 9-yard drop, or 4-yard drop back. He's 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he's forced to roll out to his left towards where the play he wants to. He hasn't taken his eyes off of this play because he knows this is going to be open. This is where this is where we're going to make our money right here. Is this play right here, this throw and this catch. All right, he's rolling out left and off balance. There's no guide hand really with that. Like, he's one hand clutching this ball, and he throws an absolute dart, an absolute beauty over the shoulder to Ty Johnson, who has really proven himself to be a really big factor in this Bills passing offense. But this all starts with Dawson Knox coming over and making that 2-yard gap, which seems very little, but all kinds of yards, any kind of separation you have, the 3-yard separation between the defensive back and the linebacker pre-snap ends up being what gives the separation between the linebacker and the running back when the catch is made right here. That's what ends up changing whether this play is a touchdown or an incomplete pass, or a sack even, with the rush. This little shift, as you can see right here, they're pretty close to one another pre-snap. You see Dawson Knox move over, and then there's a bigger gap. He tries to come over to, readjust and fill that hole more, but he just can't recover as much, and Ty Johnson and Josh Allen make a beautiful play right here. That's what the pre-snap motion can do for an offense, and that's what Joe Brady's really unlocking with this Bills offense. All right, and the last clip I'm going to show is it's last, but it's definitely not least, because this is maybe the most important facet of this offense's success is their run game. Throughout the past few years, we've heard Buffalo has no run game. It's all through Josh Allen, and it really has been. It's been the run game through Josh Allen, and it's enlightening to see that this team is now running the ball not exclusively with Josh Allen. All right, you see a lot of the times the Bills come out in 12 personnel, which is one running back and 2 tight ends. We've got Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. All right, so we're going to go ahead and see this, and I'm going to go ahead right now and rank who the best blocking receiving players are on the Bills. And you've got number 1 right here. You've got number 2 right here. You have 3, and then 4. So this is Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Mac Hollins, Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid. Now, based off of this, do you think that we're running the ball towards our 2 and 4 or 1 and 3? Because if I had to guess, it would be towards 1 and 3. And that's not the case. We're running right towards 2 and 4. So that's a little bit of a deception play right there already. Where they line up Dawson Knox is where I would think, as a defender, they're going to run. So I'm automatically preparing myself, if I'm one of these 3 guys, like maybe I need to, get ready to, maybe I take my weight off of this outside foot and shift it to this one so I can go ahead and burst and get my hips open and, make the play. But no, what happens is we're actually going to run it right here, right between our left tackle and left guard. All right, and the point of attack for the Buffalo Bills in this play is just an example of what we see a lot of the time from this Bills offensive line, who had some questions in the offseason, especially with this guy right here, David Edwards. All right, he's their starting left guard, and he has been not a liability, but he's been the worst of their offensive line, which is still a great line. But anyways, this play is going to be just an inside run, and we're going right through the B gap between the left tackle and the left guard. What we see here is we're going to see Marquez Valdes-Scantling almost run up the field and then try and just take this guy with him and then lay a block. All right, just take him with you and then get him. All right, take him out of the play. We're going to see Dalton Kincaid just move straight up and then try and take this guy. But what happens is, with all defenses, they read it, and he's already come like right here to kind of block the hole. Dalton Kincaid does what he can. Just block right here. You know, our receivers have done the job that they're out there to do. All right. Now the offensive line is where it really matters. All right, and you see what we're starting with is right to left. So we're starting away from the play towards the play. We're going to go Dawson Knox. All he's got to do is prevent this guy right here, right? All he has to do is prevent him for about 2 seconds from making the play in the backfield, tackling for a loss, all right? We do not want that to happen. We want to get the ball forward. If it's 2 yards, great. If it's negative 2 yards, we've not done our job, right? So Dawson Knox, his goal is get this guy, all right? Now, you've got Spencer Brown and Osiris Torrance, who's here, but I can't really see his head. But we're running a double team on this guy, right? We're running a double team on their 3 technique. And that's really important because just in case James Cook has to cut back, all right, we're taking away this option for this guy to make a play. And so they want to double team him and move up the field. And that's every offensive lineman's goal is to double team, move on to the next guy, move up the field. All right, and that's what they do. And now you've got Connor McGovern and David Edwards. Sorry, I keep wanting to say Gus Edwards, but it's David Edwards. You're taking away this guy right here, the 1 technique, and you want the double team, but then you almost want to wreak havoc on this guy if Deion Dawkins doesn't do his job, which is kind of taking him out of the play. You want Deion Dawkins to be able to flip the defensive end's shoulder to be able to not make any contact with James Cook, because this is where we're running, and he's lined up in that gap. Now, from the video, it doesn't look like Deion Dawkins does a great job, but this is a really hard thing to do, and Deion Dawkins is one of the best linemen at doing this, especially from the left tackle position. So what we see here is James Cook is going to take this ball and run right up. All right. Now, if Deion Dawkins is able to do this really hard job flawlessly, this is a touchdown because our receivers have already set the blocks on their guys, you know. But it's a really hard thing to do. It doesn't, and they end up getting 14. Right. Now, here's the play, all right? It's the same thing I just drew out, but here we go. We're gonna go ahead and play it, and then right there, boom. You can see we see 73, 76, 66, 79. Osiris Torrance is in here somewhere. They're on the double team. We've got 4 of our 5 offensive linemen facing away from us up the field. We can read their numbers, and that's great. If you're an offensive line coach and you can see that your linemen are faced away in their right gaps, shifting the defensive line in the correct position, you know, you're the happiest guy on the planet right now because your guys are doing what they're supposed to do. You've got all of their defensive linemen shifted, and in a second here, you're going to see just about how well of a job these Bills linemen do. Now, Deion Dawkins has done a great job of getting this guy, you know, Deion Dawkins is really moving with one arm. He's only blocking with his right arm because he's got to rotate that defensive end, and he does a great job for how difficult that job is. But defensive end isn't horrible and disengages in time to slow down James Cook a little bit, all right? So you can see it here. It's in real time you can see it. He disengages. He makes a little bit of a hindrance because now that's time lost that James Cook maybe could have split these 2 defensive backs, and Kincaid has lost the block, which he set very well in the beginning of this play, as you can see right here. He makes great contact, all right? He makes great contact, pushes the guy back and out of the play, but it, you know, all blocks are going to fail eventually. You can't block a guy forever. And the defensive back gets off of it, so James Cook has to position himself to take the cut inside through the next hole. And that's what he does, and then he makes a very good move right here to almost ensure that he gets an extra about 3 yards. Because if he keeps running straight, this is a head-on collision. James Cook isn't a big guy. He's not a power back by any means. He's not winning this one-on-one, like, head-to-head drill, all right? He's not winning that. He makes a great plant with his right foot, cuts it back out left, forces the guy to make a wrap tackle around the waist, and he flips it. He misses, and then he requires 2 more guys to bring him down, and he gets an extra about 4 yards, 3 yards with that one cut. Now, this is a first down play, and that's the beauty of it. If you can come out here and you can do this on first down and set the tone and get your team another set of downs, you're going to win a game. You're going to win a game if you can do this 7 times out of 10, all right? Obviously, because that's 70 yards in 7 plays, or 10 plays. But, you know, if you can do this consistently more than half of the time, and your offensive line can play with this tenacity and this effort that you don't see a lot of offensive linemen playing with, you're going to win games. And overall, I think that the Bills really, if they can get through their next 3-game stretch, which is Ravens, Texans, Jets, all in order on the road, if they can get through that, either 2-1, 3-0, you know, that's ideal. You know, going to week 6 at 5-1 with wins over the Baltimore Ravens and the Texans on the road, and then you've got, you know, a division win in your pocket on the road against the Dolphins, and you've got another AFC win against the Jaguars. You're in very good position to, dare I say, win the AFC in the regular season and get that first round bye, which come January is going to be vital for these Bills because, as we can see, they're already banged up. I can make another video on the defense if that's what you guys want to see, but they're already banged up. They're missing Terrell Bernard, Taron Johnson, Matt Milano, who's supposed to come back in December, but who really knows, with a bicep injury, and that's super important for a linebacker. When you can have that extra week in the playoffs to recover and have you guys healthy for the next week when you're playing, most likely a 4 seed, that's all the difference it makes to make a championship game versus make the Super Bowl. It's going to be really hard for me to pick against the Bills in almost every game they play based off of this showing, because I myself and the nation knows this is what they can do. Like, this is how good they can be, and that's just that's the summary of the video, is how good they can be.